Namaste, my name is Ojasvi Chandok and I welcome you to Season 4 of the Festival of Bharat. We are a platform that believes in having frank and civilized discourse on issues of public interest. And today we have with us His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Ashram Maharaj Ji. Ashram Maharaj Ji has dedicated his life to realization of the truth. He teaches the timeless wisdom presented in the ancient Vedic texts, sharing knowledge of the yoga systems and personal transformation. He personally counsels fellow religious leaders, regularly lectures in university settings, helps industrialists, and advises those in the spiritual arena to understand their spiritual wealth. He has helped to open preaching centers and has preached throughout the world. Swamiji, namaste and a Shubh Navratri to you.
Namaste, namaste.
Swamiji, you've had such a fascinating journey. For the benefit of our audience, could you please tell us a bit about your life and your journey to Dharma?
Yes, I was born in New York City, in Harlem. Have you ever heard of Harlem?
Mhm.
Okay. And I lived there till I was about 3. My father's from Nigeria, West Africa. My mother's from South America, Guyana, West Indies, Caribbean. And there was a war in Nigeria when I was 12, and the family moved back to America, where I studied in the Bronx. And when I was about 19, then my father was living in Africa and coming back between Africa and Nigeria and Africa and America. And living in New York, I got into drugs and I was a little bit wild. In fact, I was very wild. And so my father sent me back to Africa to stay with him. I stayed there for 2 years, and then he sent me to finish my university studies in London. And when I was in London, I was still quite crazy, and I was actually quite crazy to the point of almost being insane. And I started to look for some alternatives. I went to the church and I was making inquiries, but they could not help me. Then my mother wrote me. By this time, my mother had moved back to Nigeria, and she told me that why don't you look towards Eastern philosophies? And then I got a book called The Science of Self-Realization. Very, very good book. And I started to read it, and it made so much sense. I went to the temple, and when I went to the temple, I was amazed that what I was reading in the book was actually there in the temple. It was real. It wasn't fabricated at all, or wasn't exaggerated in the books. And I was brought up in New York, and in New York, we don't really trust things or situations that much. But there, the atmosphere was just overwhelming. So I started going to the temple every evening because the temple was around about 3-4 streets from where I studied in university in central London. And then after a while, I started going morning and evening. And when it was time for my summer break, I went to a place out in the country, which was bought by George Harrison of the Beatles, famous rock musician. And it just completely changed my life. My insanity went. I mean, it's a whole story. It's a whole story. Um, Somebody in Africa had done some black magic on me, basically. So I was totally bewildered. And just by taking the mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then my insanity just flew away. I was totally amazed. When my mother found out, she got on the first plane. She said, we spent so much money on you, so much energy, so much time, and you've come and become a member of a cult? What are you doing? I said, Mom, just come and stay for a little bit and see what it's like. And she came to the temple. She got up every morning at 3, 4 o'clock. She started to do the meditation. She started to do seva. After 1 week, she said, you stay here. This place is good for you. And then she left. And that was back in 1978. And ever since, I've been chanting and living temples and traveling around the world, preaching the message of Sanatana Dharma.
Namaste. We hope you enjoyed this Chitti Media content. Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.